Welcome to Swishucation.
All right, thank y'all. That's my the lovely people in fifth period, my fifth period class today.
Yeah.
All right, so welcome. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over number 6 on this sheet. I do want to thank the people at All Things Algebra for providing the problems that we do on these videos. We appreciate that. So what we have here is we have a piecewise function with how many pieces? 3. Okay, that's like 2,000 a leg. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have to write down 3 tables. So we're going to write down 3 tables. But first, we're going to write part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay? All right. Now, like I said, there will be a question like this on your future major grade. That future major grade is, so today is October 2nd, 2025. Tomorrow is October 3rd, 2025. That's when you have the major grade. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create those 3 parts. So we got a part 1 with an XY. We have a part 2 with an XY. And then a part 3 with an XY. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the endpoints. Okay? We're going to look at the endpoints, and we're going to help us make our tables. Now, for part 1, what is the endpoint?
-5.
Remember, you see the -5 from after the word if, right? If whatever, and it says x is what?
-5. Or less than or equal to -5.
X is less than or equal to -5. So, because -5 is our endpoint, we will start part 1's x side of the table with -5. But because it's less, we need to have less. That means we need what 2 numbers can we use?
-6 and negative.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you, because you know what? For whatever reason, I was thinking the wrong way. But it is -6 and -7. Very good. Now, we also know that the expression for x less than or equal to -5 is going to be y equals what? Say it again. Y equals -1. The next thing I need you also to mention is what is -5 going to be? Like, what kind of circle will we have at -5? Will it be open or closed? Why is it closed?
Because it's negative, or it's equal to.
It's equal to. So I'm going to write down the word closed beside the -5. Now, the good thing about this particular part is that since the equation for part 1 is y equals -1, that you should automatically know what goes underneath for y for all 3 of those numbers. What is it going to be?
-1.
It's going to be -1 because it says y equals -1. So therefore, all of these numbers are -1. Okay? Do we understand that?
Yes.
Somebody said no? You do not understand. Okay?
It says y equals -1.
Yeah, it does say y equals -1.
We know that because it's just a number by itself. Like, it doesn't have no, like, you see how the second one has -x, -3? But the top one just has -1, so it's y is just equal to -1.
Okay? Does everybody else understand? That was a good explanation. Does everybody else understand why it's going to be -1 right there? Okay. Now we're going to graph it, right? So let's go over to the graph. We already know that -5, -1 will have a what type of circle? Closed. So I'm going to go to -5. So I'm going to go 5 to the left, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go to the left and go to -1, which is going to be right here, right? So that's -5, -1. Then I'm going to do -6, -1. And I'm going to do -7, -1. Now, because the part 1 is x less than or equal to -5, it's going to be less than or equal to -5 forever. But it's going to be going to the opposite direction. I mean, not the opposite, but just to the left. And, I skipped a point, but it's okay. All right, but anyway, here it is. So we're just going to draw a line just like that and point in that direction. That is part 1. Does anybody have a question about that? That's part 1. Okay? Now let's go to part 2. Part 2 is very interesting because we actually have, you have a question. Go ahead. Why is it going to the left? Because no matter what, the y value is -1. So that means no matter what points I put starting at -5, -1, it's going to always be -1. Okay? So it's going to go straight to the left, right? Because all the values of y, right, according to part 1, is -1. So even if I put negative 8 here, it's still going to be negative 1. If I put negative 9, negative 1. Equals negative 9.25. It's still going to be negative 1. Okay? All the values, according to the thing, say negative 1. So that's why it's going to just point to the left. Okay? Because what? You got it? Okay. Now, let's go to the next part. Part 2. Part 2 says we have actually a boundary here. We actually have 2 endpoints. We have negative 5 and we have positive 1. So we must include both of those endpoints. So here's how it's going to look. We're going to put negative 5 up here. And we do have another point which is going to be positive 1. So that means we need to at least choose another point that we can, another x value that we can use so that we can have this. So what value would you like to use? You want to use 2? That's okay, fine. 2.
Wait.
Negative 2, right?
Yeah, negative 2.
Yeah, y'all want to use negative 2. Oh, because y'all want to kind of go in
It has to be
as long as it's less than, or as long as it's more than negative 5, but less than 1, it's going to be fine.
negative 2.
Okay? But you could have done any number that you wanted between those two. But you must include negative 5 and positive 1. All right. Now, before we go any further, what kind of circle will we have at negative 5?
It's an open.
Why is it open?
Open.
Why is it open?
It's just less than.
It just says a less than sign. It's not equal to. So I have to put open on negative 5. I also have to check the endpoint for 1 on part 2. What kind of circle will that be?
Open.
That will also be open. Because again, there's no equal sign, right?
Yeah.
Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Now, negative 2 will just be normal, okay? But that's fine. So now, all we got to do is put in these 3 numbers into our expression, which this time is going to be y equals what?
Negative x subtract 3.
Negative x minus 3, right? Very good. So now, all we got to do is plug in negative 5 and then negative 2, then 1 into that expression. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show that part because that could get a little confusing. So, let's put negative 5 in. So, if I have x equals negative 5, I'm going to draw my arrow. Now, this is kind of like the problem we had yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, right? We have a negative x. So, that's going to be negative parentheses negative 5. Y'all see that? Because it's a negative x. So, it'll be a negative 5, and then minus 3. Does anybody have a question about that?
Wait, so in decimals, you just do negative 5?
No, you do a negative parentheses negative 5. Because remember, you're replacing the x with a negative 5. And remember, the problem started with negative x. Okay?
2?
So what's it going to be?
2?
What kind of 2?
Positive.
It's going to be positive 2. So this equals to positive 2. So this will be 2. All right, now do it again for negative 2. So for negative 2, it's going to be negative of a negative 2 minus 3.
Negative 1.
And it's going to be negative 1. Okay? All right, and then do it for 1. And then for 1, it's just going to be negative parentheses 1 minus 3. So it's going to be negative what?
4.
Negative 4. Okay? All right, negative 4. Okay? All right. So there you go. Those are 3 points we can use, right? So now we're going to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Does anybody have a question about how we got that on the graph? Anybody have a question? Okay. Now let's go to part 3. I'm sorry. We're not going to part 3. We're going to graph part 2. So go to part 2. We're going to plot the points. So first we have negative 5, positive 2. So let's go to negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go to positive 2. And like she said, it needs to be open. So we're going to put an open circle at negative 5, positive 2. Then we're going to plot negative 2. So negative 2, 1, right? No, negative 2, negative 1, right? So that's going to go right here. Yes? And then it's closed because it's just another point. And then we have 1, then negative 4. So left 1, it's right 1, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be a what?
Open.
That's going to be an open circle. Now, because on part 2, it's going from -5 to 1. That means that all we can do on this problem is connect those as a segment. It's not a line, it is a line segment. So that means that you're connecting just like that. And that is part 2. Does anybody have a question about that? Why? Because
They're both
you're starting at, because on part 2, you're starting at -5. So you're not going anywhere else. You start at -5, which is this point right here. That's the open circle. Then you're ending at +1. And that's going to go right here. See, those actually have 2 endpoints. And when you have 2 endpoints, that's a segment. Okay? So that means you're going to disconnect the first endpoint with the other endpoint, and then you're done. There's no arrows. There's not going to be any arrows because we have 2 endpoints. Does anyone have a question about that?
Oh.
Does anyone have a question about that?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got part 3 to do. So now part 3. So part 3 is you have X and Y. You have the X, Y, right? So for part 3, we got to, now it says that what's the endpoint? We only have 1 endpoint, right? So what's the endpoint for part 3? 1. So I'm going to put 1 on this table, correct? Now, what is, okay, so now, I didn't want to put in the recording, I'm sorry, but I can tell you what time, I'm leaving right now, okay? But I just didn't want to put in the recording. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll tell you, can I finish this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, because we got time. Okay, so 1 is X, right? So can anybody tell me what the values are of X that we need to use? Because it says X is what? Greater than or equal to 1, so you said what? 2, 3. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. Okay? Right? Now, what does the Y value equal to for part 3? It is 6. So it's just like part 1, right? Where basically all the numbers for Y will be what? 6. Well, in this case, it'll be 6, right? So 6, and then you got to write that. I'm not going to say it 3 times. All right. So now, we're all right. Huh? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make up. Yeah, I don't know about y'all. I can't do that. So, okay, all right. Okay, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, that's why nobody's moving. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all the sixes. Okay, now at this point, all we're going to do at this point is we're going to graph those points. Oh, by the way, what kind of circle do we have at 1?
Closed.
It is closed. So we're going to put closed right here. Okay, closed. Now, I don't have to do any other circles really because it's equal to and there's no other endpoint. Okay, so all we got to do now is go to our graph, and we're going to graph 1, 6. So I'm going to go to 1 to the right, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to put a closed circle at 1, 6. Then I got to do 2, 6, which is going to be right next to it. I got to do 3, 6 next to it, 4, 6, 5, 6, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Okay? 7, 6. You know, that's a point too. Okay? And it's going to go to the right. So it's going to go all the way to the right. Okay? All right. And there's your part 3. Does anybody have a question about how we did part 3? All right. So now, the only thing we have to do is, and somebody said this in the earlier period, they said the hardest part of all this is to write the domain and range. Okay? All right? That was your partner that said that. Your partner that said that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's him. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mention names. Okay, but all we got to do now is we got to write the domain and range. So, remember, domain is left to right. So, what do you see on the left side? Negative what? Because of this arrow right here, correct? Yeah. This arrow, negative infinity. Now, if we travel, we're going to travel to the right. So we stop here. It's a stop, right? Yeah. But that's a closed circle, which is okay. But it stops here, right? So we have to go to the other one. There's another circle here, but that's okay. It's open, but this is already closed. So that means we can continue. Okay? So we can continue, and we stop. Oh, we have a stop right here, right? Okay? Now it's open, right? So we have to find there's a closed circle to continue. Well, guess what? there's a closed circle up here. So that means we can continue on and on and on. So, is there any break in the action?
No.
No. So therefore, the domain is going to be what to what?
Negative infinity to infinity.
All right, negative infinity to positive infinity. See, as long as you have something to cover yourself with this, it's just going to be no breaks. Okay, now, that's the domain. So now let's do the range. So for the range, of course, we're going to go from low to high. Now we're going to have some situation on here. Now, let's go to the lowest. What is the lowest value for y in this graph?
Negative 4. Yeah, negative 4.
Because that's right here, right?
Yeah.
That's negative 4.
Yeah.
So now, I'm going to travel, I'm going to travel, I'm going to travel, I'm going to travel. I know I'm passing this, but it's okay. I'm traveling, and I get to here, right?
Yeah.
Now, is there down on this line, and I need to move it over, but is there a closed, we stop right here, but is there a closed circle on this line?
No.
No. So we already know that the first part of the range is going to go from, where do we start at?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So it's going to be negative 4 with the parentheses, right? Negative 4, comma, what?
2.
Positive 2, right? Yes.
Why is it 2? Because that's because domain, range is y. So you have to, on that open circle.
This open circle right here.
You have to look for the the y value.
All right. So we got negative 4 to 2, right? Now, we are going to have to write something else, right? So I need to write a what? A U. So now it's going to be a union, okay? And then all we got to do now is, now we got to pick back up where we left off, which is going to be way up here. We got to come, so we don't have this. We stopped right here, right? So now, we've already done this part. So now we got to come back, we just got to come all the way up here now. So what number is this for y?
6.
And it sits all the way across, right? So therefore, it's going to be parentheses?
Bracket.
It's going to be a bracket. And so all you got to do is write union, and then bracket sits.
Comma infinity.
No, would it be comma infinity? Will it ever go up from sits?
No.
No. So all it is just sits, and that's it. Not right now.
What time do you leave?
No, nobody's leaving right now. Okay? All right. Does anybody have a question? I'll stop recording.
Yes, I have a question.
What time do you leave?
What time-
Okay.